It's just past 25 to 3 on BBC Three Counties Radio. I like the sound of this. Every day we hear more about the plight of refugees from across the world. But do you ever think about how difficult it must be to settle into a new country with new people and a completely new culture? Well, local organisation LEAP have been working with Amersham and Wycombe College to welcome refugees into the community. Katie's from the college, and Mark Ormerod is the director of LEAP. And Mark, you have quite a fun job, don't you? Because you get given lots of money and you then decide where that money goes. Fill me in on the gaps there.
Absolutely. So part of our role is distributing the National Lottery Sports Fund, which comes from Sport England out into the county, and we work across the life course with from young people, from preschool youngsters right through to elderly people in care homes and chair-based activity and that kind of thing. So it's everything.
I do play the lottery sometimes. I have been known to win the occasional tenner, and I guess what keeps the lottery going is two things. One is the hope that one day we'll be multimillionaires. To me yet. And the second is the belief that it's going to the right places. So as someone who's right at the sharp end of distributing that funding, you believe that it is going into many worthwhile projects.
Absolutely. I mean, there's never enough. In terms of the funding that this programme received, it's through something called the Sport of 8 programme. And we had something like £180,000 worth of applications for around £90,000 worth of awards that we gave out. So this was one of around 80 projects that we funded. And it's a great one. And it absolutely is making a difference at community level, particularly with this group of youngsters based down in Amersham.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a sec with Katie. In terms of sport in general, it is very much a glue in the community, and it does have massive social benefits. I mean, we'll talk specifically about the refugees and the boxing, but in general it is a given that if the community is more active, the community is going to be more happy.
Benefits in every level. I mean, from physical activity and health, making savings to the NHS, social cohesion, getting groups and communities together, and as you said, I mean, young
and just having fun as well.
Having fun, yeah, so it's a key part of it. And young refugees, as you said, coming to a country. If you imagine yourself in a foreign country without your parents, you're young, you're sort of between the ages of sort of 14 and 17, and you're trying something for the first time. Sport's a great thing. It's a metaphor that, transcends languages. It allows people to engage across a community and help them make friends and have fun. And
also, without trying to fall into stereotype, I'm guessing there's a fair amount of kicking heels that goes on as well if you're 14, 15 and you're just settling in a new country and you're finding your feet literally. And kicking heels equals pent-up energy, and pent-up energy equals frustration. So sport is going to have an important health and psychological benefit for those young people.
For everybody, and not just these youngsters that we're going to talk about today, but we have issues with youth inactivity, we have childhood obesity, and this is a subject that most people are familiar with. So the more we can do, the more opportunities that we can create to get youngsters physically active, engaging with others, not sat on the sofa playing with the Xbox and things like that, get out there actually experiencing sport for real, is a good thing. And, good qualities to learn.
And also there's an important word here, which is safety. And by having this kind of scheme, you are offering a safe place to go.
Yeah, it's safe. I mean, this particular scheme starts off in the college environment, and then it moved into the boxing club. So those youngsters are experiencing something in an environment they're familiar with, and then they take the next step into a boxing club, which is the wider community. So yeah, absolutely, it helps them transfer.
Katie, you've got a very posh job title. Run it by me again.
So I'm the college sports maker at Amersham and Wycombe
Sports
College.
maker. What does that mean? What are you doing?
So I increase student participation in sports and activities, and I help prevent the drop-off in sports, which often happens at that post-16
I dropped off at 11. I didn't
we
get
needed
to post
to get
16.
to you sooner.
I dropped off. I'm not sure I ever popped on, if I'm honest. So I was a hopeless case. The college itself, Amersham and Wycombe College. So who are you teaching? What age group?
So it's 16 to 19 mostly, although we do have some mature students. They're young people, they're at an age where behaviour change is happening, and it's really important to make sure that behaviour change is positive. So with this particular project, it was really important for us to make sure that these vulnerable students were being linked into safe community environments, because they are at that age of behaviour change where they could be easily influenced with negative behaviours and be linked into the wrong environments. Then that was really important for us to achieve that.
Who had the idea for this project?
Well, it was linked in with LEAP, who've done research on refugees moving into the local area and the demands of the sports that they might want to have offered to them. But in terms of, from my point of view, we had an intake of ESOL students last academic year, and it was ESOL, speakers of other languages. And it was recognised by the college that sport was going to play a really key part in integrating those students into the college community, but also making sure that they're linked into safe environments in the local community through sport. The majority of the students were refugees that were part of this project. They'd moved over to the UK without family. Their main points of contact for the college are their key workers. So again, it was just about making sure that they were given an opportunity to socialise in college and outside of college and integrate into the community.
How have your students, your 16 to 19-year-olds, responded to the refugees who found themselves in your college?
Really well, actually. Yeah, they were really positive. We have table tennis is a big part of our college culture, so they were often playing table tennis together. We have table tennis activators who set up tournaments and were really proactive with helping link those students into table tennis tournaments and sessions. And they were just really friendly and supportive, sort of more excited about them being there.
And I asked both of you this question. I wonder whether this is an example of what happens at the sharp end. So in the media we see the tabloid images, we see the images of the jungle, we see the images of people jumping on lorries and people trying to get into the country and all of the sensationalism around that. I'm not going to express a view either way, but I guess what I'm looking at here, Mark, is what you see on a local level at the sharp end, these real people and what they do.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's important that we don't confuse migrants with refugees.
Of course,
yeah. There is a distinction there. And everybody involved in these programmes are sort of endorsed, supported by the Home Office.
They've been displaced.
And so, they're young people. I mean, to take the label off them, they're just young people that, like any teenage kids, they want to get out and they want to educate themselves. I said they're without their parents or without families. They're fairly isolated. And what they've said in the feedback that we've had is they feel safe, they're secure, they're learning something as well. And what they've learnt language through boxing as well. It's very physical sport, so through training.
Boxing's a respect sport as well.
It is respect.
It's violent. It's very controlled in a very respectful context.
Yeah, and I mean the motivations for doing it is to have fun, to engage with other young people, to defend themselves as well, to learn boxing, but also to learn a language. And what we've seen is kind of better academic attainment as well because they've integrated with other students. So lots of benefits, for that group of individuals. The mainstreaming from the college boxing, so the boxing coach has gone in and he's taken a session within the college, but then it's taking those youngsters out of the college setting into the boxing club.
Yeah. So they then move on,
Yeah, and that's real community integration. So.
It's really important that they've got a point of contact. So Russell, the coach, he was brilliant with them, and now we can sort of say to them, if you go to the club, Russell will be there, and that they're comfortable with that point of contact.
This was a pilot in effect, wasn't it? So are you going to be rolling it out further within your college or further within the 3 counties?
I mean, we certainly hope so. I mean, there's a new government strategy came out in December last year, and that's looking about mental health, physical health, social well-being, integration, economic development and so forth. So the funding will follow that, and this is definitely a model that I think Sport England will look at favourably, the government will look at. So we're promoting it as much as we can to say this is something that really has an impact. It's a good investment in terms of lottery, and hopefully there's more to follow.
And Katie, as sports continuator, what's your title again?
Sports maker, college sports maker.
There we go. Keeping people in sport. What's this project done for you?
Well, it's been a great way for us to help link students into a local community club. I mean, High Wycombe Amateur Boxing Club are just a perfect example of how sports clubs can be like a family, like a close-knit community. Their priority is to help develop people and help improve well-being in addition to the boxing. So that's been really helpful with this project and helping us think about the type of community organisations that we want to work with more.
And in terms of just a final thought, the young people you've seen through, not necessarily giving names, but just in terms of a context and a story and the difference you've seen in them, who would come to mind?
Well, they were all, when the session started, very quiet, nervous, reserved. A couple of specific examples. So one lad had actually moved over to the UK from Nepal, and he had done boxing when he was a child and not been able to engage in it since. Since he'd moved to the UK, he'd not been able to get any links into clubs, and it was something that he still loved and was still really interested in. So for him, it was a really great way to help bring out his confidence in boxing again, and also his personal confidence.
Yeah.
And link him into the club, and since then he's been really proactive with it, so it's good.
Mark, I wonder why you decided to change your name to Leap from the Bucks and MK Sports and Activity Partnership. Did you think Leap was a bit easier to remember?
Well, not just that. It was just that it should be a call to action word. It should encourage people to take the leap. So if you've never tried sport before, try it. Find out more. Visit our website, www.leapwithus.org.uk. Can I make a call out for
With
something
pleasure,
as well? The work that we do, sort of, I said, transcends all ages, all sexes. We're trying to get people to play sport and be active. Next Thursday at Stoke Mandeville Stadium, we're running a Disability Sports Summit. So Stoke Mandeville is the birthplace of the Paralympics. We've had a fantastic Paralympics over in Rio, and we'd like people who are interested in supporting disability sport to come to that conference. There's more information on our website, and we're just reaching out to people because we really want to change the way disability sport is viewed, the provision of it, and make it work
And to
better.
do so, you need stakeholders to come to this conference next week.
Absolutely.
So what day is it?
It's the 3rd of November, Stoke Mandeville Stadium. Information on our website, leapwithus.org.uk.
And you can also call Aylesbury, isn't it? So it's 01296 585215. Shouldn't be off this week, isn't it? Half term.
Oh, I work all year through.
Okay, there's facilitation of sport happening all year. Go on, yes.
Whilst we're on call-outs,
Yes.
I play
Shall I do a fanfare for you? Hold on, bear me 1 second. Hold on.
Katie, go.
Katie,
Thanks.
here we go. 3, 2, 1, call out.
Okay, so I play rugby for Stockwood Park Ladies
Yeah.
rugby team up in Luton. We're recruiting new players, all abilities, whether you've played before or not. So if anyone is interested, please do come up to training. It's at 7 p.m. on Thursdays, and you can also check out the
It's
Stockwood
a great
Park.
call out. And they've got lovely facilities there in Stockwood Park for the rugby.
Really nice. Again, perfect example of a friendly community club. So
Women's rugby, is it still quite physical? Should you be concerned?
no, women's rugby come from all walks of life.
Yeah.
It's anyone can play it, whether you're
Do you play
small
to exactly
or,
the same rules?
well, it's uncontested under 19s.
Okay. So uncontested means you can't sort of tackle below the waist, and you can't.
Oh no, we do
Yeah.
tackle it. That's just in the scrum, in scrums. But
If-
I don't know too much about the scrum because I'm a back. So
Okay. I absolutely love rugby as a sport. I love rugby union. I was terrible at it at school, which probably explains why I wasn't particularly popular at the school I went to, which was a rugby school. But what used to scare me the most was the people. I kept, I'd be hacked down by a very, very large prop forward, and that's what put me off of rugby. But
it's not like that at all. We've got players of all abilities. Anyone can play. So just come along, say hi, and have fun.
That is a great call out. So Thursday evenings for training at Stockwood Park for the Stockwood Park women's rugby team.
Yes.
All ages?
All ages.
Great stuff. Good luck with the rest of your project, leapwithus.org.uk, and with your rugby as well. In fact, maybe I should come down one day and do a report on you. How about that? And you can try and restore my faith in playing rugby as a sport. You're listening to Nick Coffer here on BBC Three Counties.
On your marks.